guys, it's Sara Oehler here at the home of wonderful and beautiful Softflex Company in Sonoma County, California. And today we are going to be opening up the Santorini Dreams Kit. These were sold at the beginning of the month, specifically to bead with this video. There were, I think, about 35 of them. They sold out pretty quickly within a few days, and everyone's been hanging on to their kit, waiting for today to be able to open it and make something. I know some of you already have made something, which is awesome, and I'd love to see what you made. After the video, go to our VIB Facebook group and post pictures, and that will give you a chance to win the August kit. We will pick one lucky winner, and to enter, all you have to do is post pictures of your designs, and every single design that you post a picture of will be an entry into the giveaway for the August kit. So I'm super excited about this one because I think it's so pretty. So it's going to be really fun to design with that today. And I haven't seen it for a few weeks, so I haven't put a lot of thought into what I'm going to make. So it'll definitely be a good exploration today. So before we get started, I wanted to make sure that you guys know that the next kit is available as of today. We're calling it Neon Nights. It does have some really bright, fun colors, but then it has some tamer colors to sort of intermix in with it too. But I think it's going to be so fun. This is probably my favorite kit of all of them so far because it is so interesting and different from the others that we've done. So I'm really excited for you guys to get this one. It's $29.95. It's on the website. It's limited supplies, just like before. I feel like there's 32 of them possibly available. So get them quickly because they do sell out, and they usually sell out within 2-3 days of putting them up online. So get your kit as soon as possible, and my coworkers will post a link for you to pick that up. And what's really special about the Neon Nights is it has a sample from Jesse James Beads, and it actually will have a coupon code to Jesse James Beads website, a special coupon code, but you have to open it and use it before, I think it's July 14th. So if you get the Neon Nights kit, make sure you open it right away and look for that coupon code so you can take advantage of it. The video is also pretty cool with this because I'm sending one to my good friend Nilay Patel, and Nilay is going to do a video on Tuesday, July 23rd, and then I'm going to do a video on Wednesday, July 24th. So you're going to get 2 video programs that go along with this Neon Nights kit. So that's going to be really fun. And then some Jesse James Beads special stuff in there too. So I'm really excited about this one. I hope you guys will all go and buy one. Okay, so today's kit is pretty awesome because it is featuring, I'm going to go ahead and flip you guys down so we can start talking beads. So today's kit is pretty awesome for a number of reasons. But one of the things that I love about today's kit is I was able to work with TierraCast to put a special component in every single one of the kits. And so what I did is I get these really cool packages. I get them, let me push this up a little bit. Make sure you guys can hear me. Everybody hear me okay? I get these really cool packages from TierraCast whenever they have a new item come out. And I had gotten 3 packages in a row of these really cool new items that TierraCast had created. And so I had set them aside. I hadn't had time to do much with them. And then I had an epiphany that I could split them up and I would have enough to put something special in every single one of these Santorini Dreams kits. And then TierraCast was kind enough to send me new packages so that I could kind of explore all of the items while we do the Santorini kit. But you'll have received just one of the items. But these are all brand new products from TierraCast. that came out like within the last 4 months, I would say. They've got this really cool, and you can pick up TierraCast, not from us, but from lots of companies out there. Just Google TierraCast. You can pick them up from places like Fusion Beads or Art Beads, your local bead store. Lots of people carry TierraCast. But I thought it would be so fun that you guys would each get, this is a bail, so you could actually stick it inside of a bead with a hole and then just pinch this down to close it to create sort of a pendant. So there's 2 of those in there, and then this is a beautiful connector that looks like a little branch. So this is a really cool set, and then they've got these cool beads. So everybody should have gotten something in their kit. Here are the kitty cat and the doggy ones. I'm a huge dog fan. I was a little worried on these ones that I was going to send a kitty cat to a dog fan and a dog to a kitty cat fan, but I can't control every detail. So what colors are in the neon kit? Tons of different colors. It's not one specific color. There's some bright colors, and then there's even black. So it's a mixture of items. So these doggy and kitty ones, look at them. Look at that little cute kitty cat in the little dog house. There's like a little dog bone. Look at the expression on this dog's face. Isn't that just like a perfect dog expression? It's so cute. And then they also have little buttons with little paw prints on them, which I think is so fun. So that's the doggy and the kitty, and they have a little cute little dog house. So cute. And then the last package that I received is this guy here, which I think is pretty awesome. It's got a cool clasp, couple cool clasps. There's a toggle here. Look at this pretty toggle clasp. Hopefully that got out as a full toggle set to somebody. And then, I mean, these, if you have 2 of these, you could make earrings very easily. Look at the connectors at the bottom, or you could make a really cool pendant with 1 of them, which is pretty fun. And then look at this guy. I think this probably is a magnet clasp. Yeah, look at that open up. Ooh, it is strong. Holy moly. That's a strong one. And it's actually slides inside of it, so if you pull it from side to side, it doesn't pull out, which is also very helpful. So it's like you really got it. It'll be easier when there's wire attached to it to open it, but it's really a strong, strong one. And then these little guys are cool too. You could use this as the start of a pendant in front, or you could do, if you have 2 of them, you can do a pair of earrings, which will be really cool. We love TierraCast. They're our neighbors here in Sonoma County. They're up in Santa Rosa area. And so we're always happy to use their parts and pieces whenever we can. So that kind of covers in your kit. If you have a kit, you should have 1 of these items. And, you know, I wish that I could see exactly what each one of you got. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and slide these off so we can open up our Santorini kit. If you don't have a Santorini kit and you want to join the fun, buy the Neon Nights kit that just went up for sale today. It's $29.95. It's this kit here, and it's going to be chock full of beads and findings and all sorts of things very similar to what we'll be looking at today in Santorini, but in a different color, and it'll have some different stuff in it. But it'll have enough to make multiple designs. And it should include everything you need, from crimps to wire. We try to include everything, so it is very beginner friendly. If you've never beaded before, you should have enough stuff in the kit to make a few different designs. Okay, so I'm opening up my Santorini kit. I know I got a lot of questions about this, and I'm gonna definitely try to use this today. So this is something that someone had brought up to me. I believe it was a lampwork artist that I know really well a long time ago, and she said that it makes it really easy to separate beads. You string the wire through the center of the tube and you can cut it any length you want. I have not tried this, but we have a ton of this cording here, and I don't know if it was sent to us as a sample or, you know, what happened if we purchased it and then never put it online. I'm not sure, but we have a ton of it, and so I thought I'll cut some pieces of this and we'll experiment with it today and just see what it's like when we string our sock flex through it. And, you know, maybe it will be a total fail and it won't work as well as I think it might, but maybe it'll be something really cool and something new and different. So we're gonna try it. Okay, so in the Santorini kit, we have a bunch of different beads. We've got these beautiful brown rounds. We've got some really clear ovals. We've got some sort of flat pinched, kind of caramely colored, some discs. So like I said, Neon Nights will be very similar. It'll have a big assortment of different kinds of beads in different colors. Blue, beautiful blue rounds, some seed beads and some bugle beads. And then we've got some little guys here. We've got these beautiful blue. Let me take these out because these are kind of cool. They're blue, but then they have sort of that browny coppery color running through them. These are really pretty beads. We've got some Swarovski squaredels in a pretty blue tone with the silver. We've got a couple ear wires so we can make a pair of earrings if we want to today. That. It looks like my charm that I got was a little dog paw and a little dog house, but I might use, you know, multiple different charms today since I have a second package of everything so people can see different designs made with the variety of things. But this is what I got, was my little dog house and a little cute little dog paw. And we've got some gold head pins. We've got a gold toggle clasp and a silver toggle clasp. And then we've got some of these just sort of fast and easy little, little clasps here. These are plated. They're very inexpensive, but when you are just starting out, it's perfect. And it's easy for like a quick and easy bracelet. Attach something. We've got another cute little, these look like little silver Easter eggs, little silver ovals, so silver lined. I just realized I have total gardening hands today, you guys. I was out gardening all day yesterday, fertilizing and getting our yard looking nice. Okay, so we've got, so just ignore my gardening hands. I'll try to keep them off screen as much as possible. Does anybody else out there like to garden? I had to fertilize my front and backyard yesterday, so I did a lot of work. Okay, so we've got these cute little, look at these little starfish. They're so cute. And then this beautiful big pendant. And these are Swarovskis. These are actually limited edition Swarovskis because they have been, what's the word I'm looking for? They've stopped making them. And then you've got a bag of 2x2 millimeter Softflex crimp tubes to sort of pull everything together. Okay, so look at, that's a great kit. This was $29.95. This particular kit sold out for those of you that have joined us since I started, but we do have the next kit available, and the link has already been put up here for you to buy that, and you can participate next time. I'm really excited about the Jesse James Beads contribution to the next month's kit. And then I'm really excited about Nilay's video too, because won't it be fun for those of you that watch Nilay and those of you that watch me? It'll be fun to see how different our designs are, I think. So to start out, I just want to string some of this wire, and I'm using, we got the turquoise color soft flex wire in the medium in the kit. This is my absolute favorite color of soft flex. So I'm super excited about it. And I'm gonna just string it in this tube because I'm so curious to see what that will look like. Oh yeah, it does show through really well. Huh, that's so interesting. Okay, so what I'd like to try, and again, I've never used this tubing before, is I would like to cut, I'm gonna make a bracelet, and I would like to cut a piece that's gonna run from clasp to midpoint. So about here. And then I'm gonna put a bead in the center and just see how it all kind of works out here. And I'm gonna try to cut that really nice and straight so it fits up against that bead nicely. I'm gonna go ahead and cut 2 of these. Yeah, so this lampwork artist that I know, her name's Barb, her last name's escaping me right now, had told me a long time ago that she was using the tubing because she had lampwork beads to make jewelry. And basically she would put a bead in the center and then the tubing would hold the bead in place. Ooh, this could even make like a really cool necklace. The tubing would hold the bead in place, and her specialty bead, and then she could make a bracelet really easily without having to purchase more beads because you know she was really into her lampwork beads. So I'm thinking that could be cool. You can cut it, and she also noted you could cut it into different sizes. So you can do little tiny ones if you're just trying to separate beads and you just want like a little tiny separation. You can cut it into little tiny beads the same size, or you could cut it and you could add a bead here if you wanted to, or add a bead up here, do a small one and then a big long one. So it just gives you a lot of variety. And then you don't have to crimp between the beads to kind of hold them in the space. Let's see, Rosanna says, I ran out of wire. I'm going to have to order some. Oh, from doing all your designs with the Santorini kits, right? Yeah, Rosanna's been taunting me on the VIB group saying how many designs she's been making, and I can't wait to see what they are. She said she wouldn't show them until she saw what I made first. So I'm really excited to see what you've been making, Rosanna. That's really exciting. Okay, so I have got some 2x2 millimeter crimp tubes. That's what comes here in the kit. I am going to go ahead and attach to a clasp. And since this is such a pretty dainty design, I'm going to go ahead and use my little toggle, my little silver toggle clasp here, and go back in it. Let's see what this looks like. Maybe we'll like it, maybe we won't, but let's just check it out. Okay, so we've got our wire going through our crimp tube, and I'm gonna leave a little bit of room that my clasp can move around. You always wanna leave enough space that that clasp is able to move around and feel really flexible. I'm gonna use my magical crimpers today, although I may have to do something bigger. Oh no, we'll see if it slides inside that tube or not. So the magical crimping pliers, the crimp tube, the 2x2 fits inside just right in the center of the crimp. And we're gonna go ahead and compress. So you can see 4 little corners with your crimp, and then you're gonna compress those 4 little corners in by going in the other way and centering that crimp tube right in the center of your crimping plier. And then you want to go around and around it, compressing. If you want to see the designs made with the Santorini kit, even if you didn't get one yourself, go join our VIB Facebook group. That's where we post pictures of our finished designs. That's where I'll post pictures of my finished designs that I make today. And then we invite you, if you have a Santorini kit, to post pictures of as many designs as possible from your kit to enter to win the August kit. And you actually have a little bit longer this time. You have till July 10th to post your pictures. We did it longer because of 4th of July, and just to give you a little more time for those of you that weren't already designing before the video, to really get get into it, get some time to bead. It's a busy time in the summer. Okay, so we've got our crimp all attached, and I'm going to give myself a healthy length of wire here. First, I got to cut off my extra little guy here. You want to get your flat end of your cutter in next to the crimp and trim. And I'm going to give myself a pretty healthy length of wire to try this. I'm so interested in seeing what this will look like. Okay, so I've got my clasp and my crimp. Let's see if this tube will actually go over the top of that crimp or not. Oh no, it's just perfect. So it slides over the wire. This is a clear tubing, but we have a bunch of it in different colors. We have it in black and red and green. So you wouldn't have to use like a Softflex color underneath it to give it a color. I just thought that would be kind of fun to do with the clear tubing. So if after this video you have any interest in the tubing, let me know and I'll get some of it onto a live sale so that it can be purchased. So now I've got my bead in the center, and then I'm going to do the tube on the other side. And again, you can break this tube up into smaller pieces too. If you want to just like, for instance, when people string pearls, they will often knot between the pearls because they don't want the pearls to rub together. So this could be another option where you just make little tiny beads from this and slide them between the pearls so the pearls aren't rubbing together, it's separating them, but it's so tiny that it's kind of invisible. Because I personally don't do any knotting. Let me make sure this is big enough for my wrist before I go too much further. Oh yeah, it's just right. Okay, so I'm going to do a crimp on the other side. And if I can find my toggle bar. Oh man, I should turn my fan on. It's getting a little warm. I'm in the front office at Softflex, and I have these big, beautiful windows, which I love. But this office gets so cold in the winter and so warm in the summer. And for some reason, beading just makes me like, I think I get excited. Beading makes me hot anyway. Okay, so I've got my crimp tube, and I'll show you what this all looks like when I get done. I'm going to go ahead and compress that. I want to pull this as close to the tubing as possible, but you also want to sort of look at this loop here, and we'll do it one more time. Look at this loop on the left and the loop on the right to make sure that they look really similar. I definitely think it can get wet, Margaret. It's sort of like a plastic tubing. It's really soft. I'm not sure of the exact material because there's no information in the box with it. I literally found a big box of this just sitting, and I remembered being told that this, from that particular bead maker, that she was using a lot of this product to make designs like this with her specialty beads. But there's no information. I have no idea if we bought it. I don't know if it's a sample or where it came from even. Okay, so I center my crimp tube in the center of the crimping pliers. I've got 4 little corners, and then I'm going to compress it in the opposite direction and compress again. Yeah, it is kind of rubbery. Yes. That's a good thought. little less, it's very malleable. It's not hard, like hard plastic for sure. It could be used on memory wire as well. Yep. And it could be used in multiple different colors too. Yeah. Okay, so I've got my bracelet. So you can see the blue wire is just sort of peeking through, giving it kind of a pretty blue tone. And I'll go ahead and attach. And you could definitely do more beads, just making smaller segments. And then that'll separate your beads and make a really cool little bracelet. It does seem great for kids. Yeah, I think my kids would really love something like this. And it does feel really nice, actually. Pretty cool. Because with a kid, you don't want to spend a ton of money on beads, so you just have your one kind of special bead in the center, and then it sort of breaks it up a little bit. So I'll take a good picture of that so you can see it. Kathy says, I wonder if you could use stamps or ink on the tubing to add a, ooh, that is that, I wonder if you could use stamps or ink on the outside to make it like a textured, more textured design. Jenny says, great for a birthday party favor for little girls. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Okay, so that's kind of the ditty on the tubing. So you got a big, long thing. And the idea of these challenges is not just to challenge me, but now you're getting one of these kits. So it's a challenge for you too. So I love hearing all these great ideas that you guys have for the tubing. So if you have a Santorini kit, I hope that even though it may be a little daunting, even though it's an unusual material, you know, that you'll pull out the tubing and try it in your own way to see, you know, how you can use it to make it sort of special and different. And then if you like the tubing, let me know, and we will put some into a live sale in the, at least the black and the clear, and let you buy some of it if you want to. Okay, so Phil says, this looks like a great kit. Can't wait to see some projects finished. Yeah, let's make some other things. And then definitely join that VIB group, because there are like 33 of these out there with people making cool stuff. So I'm excited to see what everybody makes too. Okay, so let's do a cool like earring or something along those lines. Maybe we should use the TierraCast pieces here. Ooh, this would even be kind of cute. This would be even kind of cute in the center for like a little girl. Wouldn't that be so cute to just use this button in the center of this bracelet? I wish I had thought of that. That would be adorable. And then you could hang this little guy off the back end, and a little kid that has a dog would love that. So cute. Okay, so let's make a fun pair of earrings, and then I definitely want to do like something with one of like these guys, or maybe the hand, something like that, for a pendant. So earrings, what do we want to do? We've got these really beautiful, we've got these beautiful things too, these, which would be so pretty with that. And definitely thinking about like these blue bugle beads are really lovely. Let's see, what else do we have that I want to, like maybe a contrasting color, some of these pretty discs. Okay, so I'm thinking, when I think of like Greece, I think of sort of like big fun earrings. And Santorini is as I understand it, a place in Greece. I didn't name the kit, James did, but I Googled it to see what he was talking about, and it just looks like this amazing, beautiful place with beautiful blue waters and then these very gorgeous sort of colored rooftops. And so it seemed very fitting. I'm just gonna string a couple beads and sort of see how it starts to play together. And then I'll decide, you know, what I want to do from there. So you're going to see me just sort of play around with it. Okay. That's kind of interesting. I like that. And then I like the idea of sort of a big, long dangle. I think would be so pretty. Hey, Sue, thanks for joining us. We can either crimp on either side, or we could even bead up the side if we wanted to. Let me think on that. We've got these brown seed beads too, so we could add like some of those if we wanted to. Such pretty colors. I love how pretty the colors are in this particular kit. I do love these too. Those are fun. I feel like the silver bead is throwing this off a little bit. Like I would like maybe more like this color of a bead. Let's get a couple of those out and see. I'm thinking that might be a prettier contrast with the blue, even though that silver bead is so pretty. Let's see. Oh, that's really pretty dark. Let's see what we think of that. Ooh, I kind of like that better, I think. Kristen says, love the color of those bugle beads. I do too. I know. They're so pretty. It's darker than this turquoise though, so you got to use them really, really well with this particular wire color, I think. But they are really pretty. What do you guys think of this layout of beads? Darker bead stands out more. Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, I think I like this better. I'm wondering if I should move the discs on the inside. Let's see what that looks like. So I'm gonna move the square dowel. We'll do a disc and then the brown bead. A disc and then a square dowel. So there's that option, which I think is really pretty. And of course, like I'm gonna show you a bunch of different options. If you like one that I don't make, then definitely make that yourself if you have the kit. You know what, these are pretty neat too. So let's try these in the center just to see what it's like. So we've tried the silver. This is what the brown looks like. And I want to try this. I feel like this is such a cool shape for an earring. Let's try this and see what it looks like too. So here's a little bit more blue with just a touch of the brown. How can I hold this up so you can see it nicely? What do you guys think of that with the blue sort of dagger? They almost feel like little flower petals. Like they would be fun. They would be fun with like multiples. Let me cut free. Let me put a bead stopper on the end of this before I lose my mind because I drop all my beads. All right. And then I need one more of those. You like the petal beads, Jenny? One more disc on the outside. Oh, that's an interesting idea too, yeah. Kind of digging that. What do you guys think of that? It's kind of hard to hold up. So we've got a petal, a Swarovski, an amber, but I could do another amber bead on the other side of the square dowel. Let's see what it looks like. Boop. Here I go with my overly symmetrical Decide again. If you do it on one side, you must do it on the other side. Okay. So here is what it looks like with the little amber bead on both sides. Ooh, I like that. Hala, you can't buy this specific kit anymore because it's already been sold for this particular video, but you can get in on next month's kit, which is Neon Nights, and that's available for sale right now on our website. There's a link in the comments, and it is going to have 2 videos, one from Nilay Patel on Silver Silk's Facebook page on July 23rd, and then one from me here on the Softflex Facebook page on July 24th. So that's how you get in on the fun. You have to get in on the next one. Okay, so I'm going to get out a crimp, and we're going to put this one together and see how it looks as a full earring. So this is going to be a fairly big earring because it definitely feels like summertime. I want like a big, fun earring. So one thing I'll have to decide is, do I want to crimp to keep those beads in place on the wire? Or I could use a little bit of tubing too if I wanted to, but I think I'm going to crimp in this case. So let me put my bead stopper on one end. And if you've never used a bead stopper before, they're a total lifesaver. They spring open and grab onto the wire so your beads don't fall off. Can't live without them. I am a total fumble fingers. So I'm going to string on my 2x2 millimeter crimp tube. Sarah, we can add other beads or components, yes, to the contest pieces as long as we use predominantly ones from the crimp. Correct. Yes, you are welcome to use other components and beads and clasps, just as long as you're using like the wire, you know, and like some major components from the kit, it can be considered an entry for sure. Because it's not, I'm just using the stuff in the kit because I don't know what people have out there, and I don't want to make something that someone with a kit can't make too. Because that just doesn't feel right, especially for a beginner, that they'd have to go purchase something else to make their design. But to enter the contest, you can definitely. So what I just did was I stuck a second wire through here, even though I don't need that wire per se on the outside. It's a lot easier for the crimp to hold on to the wire if it's 2 strands. And so I do a second wire, like a dummy wire, just to give it a little more wire to hold on to. Because technically what I'm doing is I'm taking the edge of the crimp tube and I'm mashing it down into the nylon coating of the wire. And if there's not enough wire for it to grab onto, then you're not going to get a really strong hold. Now I'm just going to take my cutters flat side toward that crimp tube, slide in as close as I can, and I'm just going to cut off that dummy wire. So there's extra wire inside the crimp tube that it's grabbing onto, but no wire on the outside to worry about. I'm going to do the same thing now on the other side. Now the thing on the second side to remember is you want flexibility, and so you don't want to do it so tight. And in fact, you want to make sure you can sort of make the same shape you want to make in your earring. If you do it tight, straight, it's not going to bend easily into an earring. It's going to be too tight. So let me show you how I do that. I'm going to put my clasp on. One easy way to do it is to take that bead stopper that I was just using and make the shape of the earring that I kind of want and stopper it at the top. And that way I've got the right shape moving forward. And I can take my dummy wire that I just trimmed and go ahead and cut that or string that into my crimp tube. And then I like to get my crimp tube inside the pliers, so centered, and then just gently pull towards the bead. If I'm in the right shape, I don't have to worry about it being too tight. It should be okay. And then I'm gonna go ahead and compress. If you do it right the first time, you'll get that little four-corner ravioli. I'm gonna turn on its side, and I'm just gonna go around and around it, tightening it all down like always. And then I'll go ahead and if you guys didn't see, we are doing a great deal on our website that ends today if you need a lot of wire. So if you buy a 100-foot spool of the satin silver soft flex, like our regular old soft flex, you get 50% off a second spool of medium wire. And that can be in any length or color. So you can get your second spool in like a 30-foot of the turquoise if you wanted to. But it has to be in the soft flex brand and the medium. So it's a great deal if you're looking to buy a lot of wire at once. You need a lot of just basic satin silver. You can even buy satin silver and then get 50% off on your second spool of satin silver. Okay, so there we've got the basic bottom of our design, and now we can go ahead and work it up. Rochelle says, I get a ravioli, but I'm still having trouble with the next step. I wonder why. So you're spinning the, on the second step, let me get my crimp. I'm going to take both wires now and string my crimp tube. I'm still using the 2x2 millimeter crimp tubes that came in the kit. I'm going to string it down here. Get my earring shape that I want. So I'm looking for, you know, an even length here with here. And then I'm actually going to take my wire and I'm going to string back into that crimp tube. The medium wire will fit through the 2x2 crimp tube 3 times. It is a tight fit on the third pass, but it does go through. And it's a lot easier when you can pull your fingers up to your face and see what you're doing a little more clearly. But for the sake of the video, I'm trying to stay on here so you guys can see what I'm doing. Okay, so I've got it pretty much evened out on both sides. I think this is gonna look so pretty with my dark hair, and maybe even really pretty with a blonde too. But the blues will definitely pop out when they've got a little bit of color behind them. Okay, so I'm gonna crimp again, and this time I'm gonna get up a little closer. So first step, center and ravioli. Second step, you're coming in, so if I kept my ravioli parallel with the ground, I'm coming up from the bottom, I'm centering around that crimp, but this time I'm looking, where are those 4 corners? I'm gonna compress in those 4 corners this time, and I should get what almost looks like a little oval, and then I just turn a little bit and compress, a little bit and compress around it and around it, tightening it down. So the second step almost looks like kind of like an oval. All right, I'm gonna clip off my wire here and here, and I will go ahead and make the second earring later. If you don't have a chain nose plier handy, you can always use the tip of your crimping pliers. Any pair of crimping pliers has a little, sort of like a little mini chain nose on the end. Open up your earring, ear wire, and then slip your earring on. You want to open jump rings or rings on an earring finding to the side rather than out, and that way you maintain that beautiful round shape. And then we've got our first earring. So I'll do the second one, and then I will go ahead and take care of that. Let's see what Softflex is saying. Betsy Simmons, yes, buy one Softflex 019 100 foot of satin silver. Get the second spool of Softflex 019 medium in your choice of color, 50% off. Yes, That is right, and it's only through the end of today, which today is what? Wednesday, June what, Kristen or Thomas? I don't have the date on the top of my head. Like the 27th? Or did I lose a few days? Sometimes that happens. Okay, so for those who watch this video later, I need to mark what today actually is. June 27th. Okay, so today is June 27th. It's the last day for the Soft Flex 100-foot spool deal. Okay, so we've made a beautiful bracelet. We've got some earrings, and I would like to work now on just like a fun little pendant that you can really easily hang from a piece of Soft Flex wire. So let's get some things together here. Some of the different beads that we can use. Make sure I'm seeing everything. Like we've got these kind of cool clear beads too. And then we've got 3 more of these guys that we can use as well. So there's actually 5 little connector holes in this piece from TierraCast. Did anyone out there get one of these pieces? Okay, so I'm thinking like do something kind of cool with a bunch of sort of fringy guys coming off of it. Maybe even some seed beads. Maybe needs a little more color than that. Oh, we still have this big guy over here too, which we could use on the center one. So I'm just ignore me as I play away with this to kind of see what I want to do. I'd like to add a little blue. Well, the blue wire will add a lot. Okay, so I'm going to do some dangles from here. I'm going to start in the center because that's kind of one of the most important dangles, and then we'll work our way out to see how it all kind of hangs. So I'm going to do a healthy sized piece of Soft Flex. What is that, like maybe 3 or 4 inches of my Soft Flex in turquoise. Yep, everybody got a different piece from TierraCast, so every single one is different. Okay, so I've got my wire, my crimp bead on my wire, and my gardening hand, and through my hole. This camera picks up everything, I'm telling you. Okay, string tight. So I'm gonna get fairly close, but leave it so it's got a little bit of dangling. And I'm gonna go ahead and compress. So this is a whole new piece from TierraCast, as are all of the pieces that you received in this kit. Everybody got a different TierraCast component, but it's a brand new component from their brand new lines of findings. And then in next month's kit, we already received some really fun samples from Jesse James Beads, and you'll get a coupon code to the Jesse James Beads website, but you have to use it right away if you buy the kit, the Neon Nights kit, because the coupon is only good till like July 14th. So make sure you open it and look at the coupon code right away. Betsy says, I enjoy the brainstorming. That's the fun part. I know, I do too. I do too, because sometimes it's fun just to see what things look like, and you wouldn't know until you try it, you know? Like that's a big part of it. So I think I'm going to crimp. I'm thinking this is going to match this bracelet really nicely. But I think I'm going to crimp here So I've got a long sort of fringy dangle coming off of here. But I want to hold the beads in place on the wire so they don't slip up and down. Although if it's, I guess it probably won't matter too much if it's, gravity should do the job here. Let's see. Let's see how this looks. So I'm thinking, and I lost my bead. I noticed that the post that I did in our Facebook group about dropping all those seed beads still gets comments regularly because everyone's been there. We all drop our beads. So I'm a little nervous about the square dowel on the end here with the crimp because they do have kind of big holes. So I want to put something a little smaller at the bottom there. Let me look around. Maybe one of these discs. I got a disc out here. Maybe one of these discs at the bottom just to be sure it doesn't slip off of there. I'm going to string my crimp tube on. This is going to be so interesting. Now, do I want to leave a little soft flex showing, or do I want to just pull it up here? Is my next question for myself. I think I kind of like it tight up to the finding, but I also kind of like it with a little bit of the wire showing. So that is a tricky one. I'm gonna look for an, yeah, sometimes a seed bead will do it, but I feel like it'll be okay. I like this flat bead here. So I'm putting an extra wire in that crimp tube again. You can also double back up from the bottom. I guess that's what I should do. If you've got a long piece of wire, you can just double back up and then cut both wires off at the bottom. And I'm thinking I'm just gonna go tight up to the beads. Sometimes you can even string back into the beads if you want to. Totally not necessary though. So I'm just sort of tightening it down. I'm going to come in with my magical crimpers again. And here's where I'm going to center my crimp tube, and then I'm going to adjust so I can get up next to those beads. So I'm actually doing a little bit of tugging up here with my non-dominant hand. And I'm going to go ahead and compress. And compress. And compress a bunch of times, 5 or 6 times. Around and around, tightening it down. And then I'm going to trim and trim. So I trimmed both wires off at the bottom, and I've got my first dangle. And now I'm going to do another one right next to it. So what I have to be cautious of and thoughtful of is the width of this now, and how is this going to dangle next to it and still lay nicely and feel good. I think it should be fine because it's quite a bit smaller. I am curious, and I'm just going to test real fast to see if the square dowel can handle being the bottom bead. And so I'm just crimping some wire, basically making sort of a little head pin out of soft flex, my own little head pin, by adding a crimp onto the end here. So let's see if the square dowel does string over. Nope, it does fit nicely. Cool, well that's good to know. So that crimp slides in and it doesn't just come off, so it could be the bottom of your dangle very easily. So I'm thinking about just doing this right here. I just want to see how it's going to kind of lay. Yeah, I think that'll lay nicely. I don't think it'll have a problem. Let's see what it looks like. This is an interesting component because you've got 2 up high and then you've got 3 sort of down low. So I'm curious to see how that's going to sort of look too when I get further along here. So I'm going to look at my loop on my first one here, and I'm going to sort of compare that to the second one. But just like the first one, I'm going to put in my crimping plier and then pull it tighter. And then I can kind of compare those loops. It's good if you can get your wires to go side by side, especially in something like this, because you want a straight, clean connection. And that's going to give you a much straighter connector if you've got your wires straight inside your crimp. Going around and around and around. Okay, let's see how this hangs. Yeah, not bad. I think that's kind of cool. Let's try the next one. So TierraCast also has these parts, which you could do something similar with. Some of you got this, but it only has 3 little holes for a dangle. And you could actually even, interestingly enough, now that I'm looking at this, you could even try wrapping the wire from the inside and going in one hole and then the opposite direction with the second wire. If I can get it to go through there. Could do something like this, where you actually use the wire up through the top and then crimp it and then add beads. That would be so cool. That's going to be my next. I could stay and just make stuff all day, right, guys? I have no other work to do, right, Kristen and Thomas? I'll just sit and bead today. Okay, so I'm going to tighten it down. I just skipped projects. Did you guys see that? I skipped to a whole new project. Please like this video if you think I'm crazy. Because I am. I am totally crazy. Okay. So, yeah. So here's something else I need to explore, obviously, because this could be really fun. You could do it with both of the holes on the side, too. And you could do multiple colors. Like, you could do the Serenity trio that has this beautiful blue, and then, like, do fluorites on the outside. You could make a really cool tassel. Kristen says that's how it goes. You start with one, and the next thing you know, you've done 15 projects, and it's the middle of the night, right? Okay. So, back to this project. So I kind of know what this one's going to look like. I think I'm going to work my way up to the side here, and then I can do the same dangles on the other side. And that way I'm not holding you guys here hostage watching me make the same thing again. So I think I'm going to do a similar dangle to the second one up here on the top, but I'm curious to see what it's going to look like. So I'm going to test it first. Okay. Crimps. All right, so I'm all attached. I'm gonna give myself a healthy length of wire. And now I can sort of play around with what goes here. I'm thinking the same thing might be okay, but let me see how it looks. Oh, but I only have so many squared L's, so I have to remember that. So maybe I just do the clear bead up at the top, or maybe I do the disc. Ooh, I like the disc. I like that. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and crimp this. I've got my crimp on my wire. I'm gonna back into it again, just to save time and wire. I'm already gonna cut this wire off anyway, so I'm just gonna double back up. You can see there's a little bit of an overlap, so it can hold on to it. I'm going to center that crimp tube, pull just gently with my non-dominant hand so I get up next to the beads. But you don't want to pull, you got to be careful not to pull the wire out that you're trying to crimp too. Okay? Compress. I'm going to go around it a bunch of times. And get in there and cut off. In a really awkward position. Here we go. Okay. Cool. Okay, so we've got this. This is going to be like a longer necklace. So I think from the top, I'll do a long length of soft flax. And I'll probably do some beads. Let me go ahead and attach. Using a crimp again. So there's a hole at the very top of the finding up here. I'm just gonna attach right to that hole. Some people like to use jump rings, but they worry me because they are often open and they just come loose pretty easily. So if I can attach right to the finding, I love to do that because it's very secure once you get these crimps in place on the wire. And then you don't have to worry about anything falling apart. I'm just gonna go around it and compress. And then I've got my first connection and I'm gonna just do a quick around the neck measurement here so I get the right length for this. It's gonna be a pretty long one. So I'm just gonna cut because I'm gonna play around with putting some beads up here at the top too. I especially feel like I could do some of these clear guys for sure. Let's see. Just to kind of pull it together a little bit. And I was wondering what these cute little flat ones would look like if there's 3 of them together. Hi Sandy, I'm glad you're here. Even if it's late, you can always watch it again. Sue says that she used the clear and the disc like that just before. Ooh, I like how these brown little flat beads look together. Isn't that kind of cool? I like that. Ah, okay, so then I'm gonna do one more clear bead. And I'm just gonna crimp that in place on the wire. And I'll do the same thing on the other side, and then I can attach it. And off camera, I'll finish off the dangles so we can see what that looks like completed. I will post my picture of all of the designs that I made today in our VIB Facebook group. Make sure you join, and then if you have a Santorini Dreams kit, just like this one, make sure you post as many designs as possible so you can be entered to win the August kit for free. And I'm just crimping. Trim. Get in as close as possible and trim. All right, and then I'm just going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to do that same beading sequence, and we'll have a nice long necklace with some pretty cute little dangles. So to recap, we made this bracelet today, which we feel would be really fun for children, but you can also cut this tubing up into smaller pieces. So you can cut it into a little bead, a little tube bead, and you can separate out your beads to keep them separated and not rubbing on each other. We also decided that it would be fun to do some painting or texture on the tubing. I bet Kristen, I should send some of this to Kristen. That would be a really fun video for you to do, is some painting on this sort of rubberized tubing to see what that's like. So we made the bracelet. We made this fun, what I think is like a very good summer earring. And then we made our long dangly necklace. So I have a bunch of stuff I gotta finish up today. Let me flip you so I can chit chat. I got a bunch of stuff to finish up today so that I can post pictures in our VIB Facebook group. I hope you'll join us there. 2 videos coming up. July 3rd, next Tuesday. July 4th is a holiday here in the US, so I won't be doing a video on Wednesday the 4th, but I will do it on Tuesday the 3rd at 1 p.m. Pacific time. I'm going to be opening up the magical mystery box from Jessie James Beads. I am on a 3-month subscription with them, so I'm going to be getting one of these each month for the next 3 months. And we're going to open it up, see what's inside, and make something. So if you're subscribed and you got the most recent box, you can bead with me. And if not, you can go subscribe at their website, which is jessiejamesbeads.com, and you can get involved in the following 2 months when I open up further subscription boxes. And on July 11th, we'll be doing a Mike Sherman Private Collection live sale. And so we're excited about that. Mike's been choosing the beads again, which is great. And we have our neon nights up for sale. So definitely go to the website, buy your kit. These do sell out fairly quickly. So if you want to be involved next month and see the video with Nile on the 23rd and the video with me on the 24th using this exact kit, then go buy your Neon Nights kit now. And that's it for today. Thank you for joining me. I saw somebody, Rochelle, mentioned my necklace. I bought this years ago at a flea market in Phoenix, and it is what I think is a crocheted or a knitted, I think it's crocheted yarn, and then it has sterling silver beads inside. So those have patinaed, and it's just sort of fun, and I like it. It's like one of those pieces. So those of you in the VIB group know that I also got to organize my jewelry cabinet finally. So I'm able to see some of my old pieces of jewelry that I just haven't, I had to dig them out. And so that's kind of fun to be able to have some new stuff to wear. So love all of you guys. I'll see you next Tuesday, and I'm looking forward to opening up the mystery box from Jessie James Beads, and go subscribe to their mystery challenge boxes because I hear they're really fantastic. All right, see you later. Bye.